to in a little bit. And I will say, I won't ask for a round of applause, but I will say I hope you're all in the mood to get a little absurd and maybe a little profane tonight, because that's what I'm in the mood for. That's where we're going with this. First poem is called Holding You in the Light. Hey, I want you to know that you're going to be masturbating soon. And I want to wish you every bit of success that you deserve in that endeavor. I know you've worked hard for this opportunity, and I applaud you. I hope that when you are masturbating, you get everything you have been hoping for, and I hope that fortune smiles on you as your little death makes you smile. I hope that your bed is comfortable and that the sheets are clean, and I hope that no interruptions will emergency their way into your pleasure. I hope sensual sounds will exit you like live young music slithering from a saxophone. I hope that you have all the toys and lube and heat that you might need, and I hope that your imagination is a glistening elevator taking you to level 101. Knowing that you're going to be using your hands and fingers on yourself, I'm holding you in the light. I'm holding you in the soft-core porn light of hope. I'm holding you in the X-tube U-porn light of RedTube X-hamster. I'm holding you in the red light. I'm holding you in the 1980s pink light, the grapefruit light, the banana light, the energy-efficient LED light, the Jesus light, the Jesus as voyeur light, the God light, the heaven light, the heaven of white lingerie. I'm holding myself also, in case you wanted to know. Second poem is a true story. So it's a poem, but it's true and it's a story. I said so. That's right, the heaven of white lingerie. Thank you for that. A scary time. In the middle of the day on a Friday afternoon, in the first week of August, in the summer of 1981, when I was only 13 years old, my mother accidentally put me in the washing machine with some dirty clothes and put me through 2 full wash cycles. At 4'11", I was a little short for my age. And I guess I was easy to miss among the beach towels and jeans. I forgive her now, and I forgave her that day. There was a lot going on. My mom was between jobs. Believe it or not, the theme from The Greatest American Hero was the #1 hit song in the United States. I was home from school. Dad was at work. It was a scary time. America was a little girl crouching in fear of the bomb behind a box of Mary Lou Retton Wheaties, and crack cocaine had yet to be born. I remember flailing my arms and screaming, but I don't think Mom heard me. I looked up from the hot water just as the lid was closing down, and I held my breath in the dark soap. For the next dizzying and brutal 45 minutes, I was washed mercilessly. The holes in the metal of the tub flayed my skin at first, and I had to hug the plastic fin tight until the cycle was over. Seemed like it took forever for the water to drain and be gone. I tried to cry out for help, but all that came out of my mouth were soap bubbles, each one containing only a fragment of the scream I was trying to make. When each bubble contacted the rim of the machine, it would burst and let out only a snippet of my scream. Then there was light, and I saw my mother reach for a towel to inspect it for cleanliness. She frowned in concentration and didn't even seem to see me there. I remember seeing from my vantage point the top of the green, red, and cream box of biodegradable Safe brand detergent. She reached for it and dusted me right in the eyes as she added more soap. Then I saw the lid close again. I tried to kick the machine to get her attention, but I was stuck in a fetal position and could do no harm. She wanted us to have clean clothes, and I had to respect that. After the second cycle, another agonizing 45 minutes in the water, she pulled all the clothes out and found me. She patted my back until I sputtered and thanked her for saving me. "Whoops," she said. "I'm so sorry about that." "It's okay, Mom," I said, and we hugged. I was fine. It was just a little bit upsetting. And now, the next poem I'm going to share, and that is a true story that I completely fictated and is not real. The next poem I'm going to do, I decided I was going to kind of let my mood take me where I wanted to go with this one. And so this poem I would like to dedicate to the current occupant of the White House. This is what I call a sort of an insult poem. I don't name anybody specifically in the poem, but you can use it for your own purposes if you like, if you have somebody that you'd like to be mean to. I hereby dedicate this to the White House occupant, if I'm being honest. Not to be mean, but you are nightmarishly ugly. The kind of ugly that can change a stranger's whole personality at a distance. I think about where your eyes are on your face in relation to where your nose is, and I start to retch from the beginning of time. The sight of you makes me make sounds only a dog should be able to make. Or a wolf trying to get down a spoonful of body odor. My father used to tell me fairy tales about your face so that I would have an easier time going to sleep crying. I saw someone who looked like you on television, and I charged the TV like a bull, ramming my head through the glass until nobody was born anymore. My mind tries to handle how hard you are to look at, and in the process, I'm not okay anymore. A bouquet of gardenias grows out of the back of my head. My aunt slaps my mother, even though both of them are dead. This is not personal. It's just all about you. And how every time I happen to see your face, I hear the angry roar of a chainsaw, and I almost throw up food I ate 10 years ago. Norman Rockwell went through an art experimental phase once and created a painting based upon a close-up photo of a maggot barfing up baby food. And the look on the face of the first person to ever see that painting is what you look like. I'm that person every time I see you, and I want to strangle Norman Rockwell so hard I can hear my own knuckles melting. Your face is like what happens when a pile of dog shit gets overwhelmed by the futility of it all and bursts into tears. The first time I saw a picture of you, I killed myself, but then I had to bring myself back to life so that I could try to warn everybody. I don't know if we can do this or if we can unmute for a second. If we can't, that's totally fine. But I'll just say that I would love it. I see the little hand there. That's awesome. There's a hand raised. I don't know if that's like a question. Is that a question? Are we unmuting for a moment? Okay. Does anyone else like, oh, perfect. Does anyone else like, thank you, erotic work about presidents? Because I can't stop writing erotic work about presidents because it has to happen. That one was not erotic. This is called Statesmanlike. Abraham Lincoln in a Speedo. Abraham Lincoln in a navy blue cotton Speedo, the dark azure dune of his bulge, piquantly visible, lying on white sheets with his arms folded behind his head, with a playful, come hither smile in his eyes. Abraham Lincoln in white swim trunks on a blanket at Waikiki Beach, working suntan lotion into his chest, his gray nipple hairs glinting silver in the light, the hot Pacific breeze. Abraham Lincoln leaning against the wall, all romantic, just inside the door as you come home, wearing nothing but the rose he has in his teeth and that big hat. Abraham Lincoln in a black silk robe, standing by the candlelit jacuzzi, waiting for you, wanting you. Abraham Lincoln raising his hips. Abraham Lincoln pressing his body to yours in the back seat. Abraham Lincoln's tongue in extreme close-up, wickedly licking a wet cherry, then a quick cut to his piercing blue eyes, looking at you, at your body. Abraham Lincoln on stage at the Gentlemen's Club, on his hands and knees on the lights and noise, arching his bony ass to the beat of the rock music, the sequins on his orange thong glittering in the light. Try to relax. Okay, so here comes the poem that is what I'm going to call, and Ben, if you're paying attention, and anyone else from the Ugly Magazine specifically, this is a poem called Buy Some Goddamned Gold. Everything I ever needed to know about paranoia, I learned from AM talk radio. You need to buy some gold right now. You need to drop what you're doing and buy some gold real quick by calling this number immediately. Men, you need to gather your women and children right now and place them all around the hearth of your house while you make the most important phone call you'll ever make. Ladies, you need to put down your babies and aprons, voter registrations, and receptionist pencils, and you need to please pick up right now the most important telephone you've ever known and call this number right this second. Gold is waiting for you, and it's not going to come around here at a price like this again. Not until the moon is a tangerine claw looming in the eastern sky. Ooh. Up in the 8th house in the year of the dollar. The end of the world is a black horse galloping fast, and no one knows not the day nor not the hour. So all of you listening to this message need to stop what you're doing, even if all of you are doctors operating on a person, and call this number now so you can buy all of this gold that you need to buy. You need to buy gold now because the stock market is not going to be in our lives here forever, and neither will all of us here be here forever in our own lives. Gold, it's the only way to bring God back into our school and keep him in there. With gold, with God and gold and God uniforms for our precious baby children. With God and gold go our golden godlike children into the blessed afterlife of golden hair and uniforms made out of Rapunzel spun gold. Please buy gold, please. The boogeyman is coming. Please, I'm asking you to stop being in your deathbed and crawl over to that telephone right now. You can only get into heaven if you buy this gold. Please, this is the only thing that can heal you if your inappropriate uncle touched you once. Gold will cure all of the diseases that should be cured. Women, please. Gold. Gold. Don't stop. Please buy gold now and put it inside of your bodies, between your breasts, across your bums, please. Please don't give your gold to bums, though. This telephone number about gold and how you can get some of it is waiting for you so hard right now. So hard. Oh, God, gold, please. The liberal hordes are coming for your gold, and you need to come, too, for your gold. With gold inside you, with God inside of you. Please stop menstruating and call this number that's all over your face right now and have some of this delicious salvific gold up inside of you. Up where we belong and where the others who don't look like us don't belong. Please buy gold right now by calling this golden shining telephone number right this second, where the eye on the top of the pyramid is going to kidnap your children and kill them by stuffing them inside of a trash compactor behind a building until they die by being killed. The eye of the socialist pyramid. The socialist eye of the pyramid. The one-eyed socialist pyramid. The four-eyed communist hexagon is going to polio all of your babies if you don't gold. Buy some gold by gold calling this golden telephone number right golden now. Right now. You're going to die in a minute. Please buy some goddamn gold now. Pick up that goddamn God telephone and shower yourself with the richness of gold this minute. Please. Gold. Sexual noises. Gold. 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 Please don't stop. Lord God, gold. Sexual gestures, gold. Oh, Jesus, please, God, gold. Now, God, yes, God, gold. Please, they're coming. Please, save yourselves. I like doing that one because it makes me a little bit tired after I do the poem, which is kind of one of the goals of it. And I hope that y'all who remember it from my last time around, we're happy to hear it. So I made a promise to a California-based friend of mine that I was going to dedicate a poem to her because I considered her to be, be right back, buying some gold. Thank you. So thank you very much. This is gold fucking, yes. If you know the poet Alexis Rohn Fancher, I consider her to be a real inspiration as far as where she dives into the erotic with her work. And so I've been writing a lot of senru, erotic senru, over the past couple of years. And this is one that I'm going to dedicate to her. Frisky Senru number 4. Her wetness, her tears, the single sea that she is, and I dive for pearls. And now, I really fell in love with California when I got out there. I just thought the Pacific was amazing. I'd never seen the Pacific. I had never seen the boardwalk. I'd never seen any of that. And I started thinking about California a lot. And I wrote this poem for my friends in California, California best friends, that whole area. Is called Telephone Numbers Die in Los Angeles. If you try to use your cell phone in Los Angeles, you will become really lost and alone, because there is something about Los Angeles that causes cell phones to suddenly be run and controlled by strange companies. There is something in the sky that's in the air in Los Angeles that contributes to the sound of fear and to mysterious aircraft hovering just inside of the city-lit clouds at night. And when you look at the little screen on your phone, you find that you don't recognize any of the numbers, and the numbers that you thought you had memorized are not in your phone anymore. You can't find them, and now you can't remember phone numbers that you need to always be able to remember. The numbers of your last two significant others, the number that will actually connect you even at midnight to a real human being at the bank where all your money lives, the numbers to all of the people you like to think of as friends, even though you rarely ever call them, which is a shame, a damned shame, since they've been sitting there wondering what's been going on with you lately, the number your father said you could call anytime you ever needed anything, and the number to the only hospital in the world that really knows what's wrong with you. If you ever go to Los Angeles, please pray first and tell everyone that you love them before you go, just in case Los Angeles is the kind of place you could never come home from. Better to leave your phone at home than take it with you to the city of Los Angeles. Just a couple more and we'll wrap up. Thank you. Okay. I'm glad you're all enjoying this. I'm love seeing the hands and the comments here. I can't immediately respond right away, but I'm loving it. It's great. It's kind of like this little digital hand, like, whew, there you go. Fight. The next day, I was walking along the city's pretty avenue when I spied right there, carefully, in the middle of the road, two men going toe to toe. They were fighting to the real death. It was very bloody, and my eyes bled also to see such violence. The taller of the two men was surely in his early young 20s. He was pale and strapping and wore a muscle tee and New York cap. He was of the race dude bro, and his forearms and biceps shone with sweat in the sun as he punched and parried in the brawl. The shorter of the two men was easily about 5 or 6 years old. He was just under 4 feet tall, and his red hair and freckled cheeks shimmered in the light as he ducked and lunged and growled, spit flying from his lips as he took and gave vicious punches and kicks. The taller man landed a boot in the shorter man's chest, sending him sprawling backwards into a post office drop box at the corner. The shorter man screamed, clutched his chest, then rallied, rolling to the side and fired a balled fist up into the groin of the taller one. The 23-year-old wheezed, and his eyes bulged so hard it seemed like they were about to snap right off the stalks. Still, he managed to catch and hold the 6-year-old's head in his hands in the tight scuffle, and he pressed his thumbs down into the eyes. The 6-year-old, in return, cried and grabbed the older one's nipple and twisted it clean off, getting blood all over the both of them. Their battle kicked up a lot of dust and trash in the street. Soon, they were surrounded by a swirling brown cloud and invisible to me. As I watched this go on, I noticed that my Coca-Cola tasted funny. It tasted like the girl working at the soda fountain failed to make sure there was enough syrup to make the soda right. I winced in irritation. How annoying that I was going to have to run all the way back there. This is real, and it's about American history, and it can't be debated. So I just want to say that at the outset, that this is an infallible poem. George Washington gave birth to America. Very little is known about George Washington. Basically, all we know about George Washington is that he was the father of our country, and as such, did give birth to this great nation of ours. And so it is right and proper and citizenish that we, as people, reflect on and commemorate everything Washington went through to make sure that America lived and existed. George Washington gave actual birth to our country, feet up in the stirrups, screaming for an epidural. Our nation's first president perspired like a mule in his tricorn hat and brown wool breeches, crying and pushing on the operating table, trying through gritted teeth to get all of us out of him. He was brave, the way he hissed and bore down to move all us huddled masses deep inside of him down through his tight birth canal and out into the bright white lights of the delivery room. The heart monitor in the room beeped like crazy as Washington screamed and bled and birthed us, his white wig sliding off his sweat-soaked head as we crowned and screamed our way into the new world. As all of our heads exited the first president at the same time, some Americans came out breech as well as head first, and the people walking outside on the sidewalk across from the hospital could hear George's screams as the interns ran around and fumbled to get the episiotomy ready. Orderlies ran around playing bugle music and boiling the bed sheets that Betty Crocker sewed for this occasion. The powder from George Washington's wig got into the obstetrician's eyes as he shouted, "Push!" And the president heaved, sobbing and grunting as the buckles on his pointy shoes came loose, and we all tumbled out of him and landed, scrambling, on the frigid, craggy shore of Plymouth Rock. And two more, and that's it. We'll wrap up. Thank you for the hand. Thank you. It's funny, I can always see the hand, but I can't see it. I can see who's doing the hand. And so I'm actually going to wrap up with just one more. I'm going to wrap up with this one, which is the final poem in the book. To all the souls gliding slowly and pearlescently up to heaven, who, at the moment of total incineration at ground zero of the first nuclear strike in the final World War, just so happened to be purchasing sex toys at the time. Just think of it, what's happened, and try to think of it as just. You could be trying that on, or in, or out forever and ever. You could be trying to relax while it goes in all the way for eternity. The sound of your voice inquiring after the kinds of batteries it takes, the voice of your sound asking if water will do damage to it, asking if it will do damage to you or to someone or something else, the shocked look on the clerk's face, the bored look on the clerk's face, the annoyed clerk, disinterested clerk, clerk getting very little in the way of commission at all, the clerk thinking thoughts of you she'd never have thought if you and she walked past each other ever anywhere else in time, the cloying cleanser smell throughout the store. Everything has a reason and a purpose. Yes, Ecclesiastes? Yes, these will be your last memories of your earthbound life, not the coffee you had before heading out of the house on the beautiful spring morning of doomsday, not the kiss on the cheek from him or her or ex as you head out the door to go get some, not the car horns or the giggling babies and radio ads or that always mailman fellow so robotic, squat scuttling like a white ladybug, describing in a so slow circle the curve of the cul-de-sac you live in. As to you he brings never-ending grocery circles, circulars and utility bills. And now, as you slowly rise up past 25,000 feet, with exactly 75,000 more feet to go before you arrive at the pearly gates, and as you try to remember the secret knock, look down at your hands, look down at your waists. Your posture is still in the moment just before the blast. See that you're still hefting that brutal black dildo, evaluating its impressive weight and shine. See how you still have that vicious strap-on over your pants because you couldn't wait to see how it looked right there at the sales counter. See the plug's pink sapphire gem twinkling, the brilliance and color fading to dark in the ghostly palm of your hand as you rise further and further away from daylight's last hurrah.